Theater is a very important venue for those very talented people who just happen to do something else. And while I can be faulted for that and say it's amateur theater, it's not amateur theater, because what we adhere to the highest professional standards when we do a production. And when actors come in here, whether they're accountants in the daytime or they belong to Actors Equity, they work hard to do a top-notch production. So I know that there was some confusion and some concern that this was turning into just a community theater. And I'm not going to put down community theaters by any means, and we can talk about that too. Yeah. But anyone who comes into this theater and works in a production is treated as a professional, acts like a professional, and gives a professional performance. We will have equity performers, but at the same time, I don't want any talented area actor, actress, I don't want them to ever think twice about coming in and auditioning for us, because the best person for the part gets the part. And if they happen to be equity, so be it. If they're not equity, so be it. The best person for the part gets the part. And sometimes that's caused problems for us, because I've had very good friends come and audition here and not get the part, but there was somebody better. And the bottom line is the caliber of the production. And when people pay their money to come see a show here, they deserve to see the best person in the part.
I wanted to ask you about this straight production that you're coming up with. I know that theater in this area, they're more used to musical comedies. Yes. And I'm very interested in Dracula.
Yes, Dracula. We made the decision to go for a dramatic production, again, to start rounding out our offerings, not only to do musical theater, but as I mentioned, the other things, and also straight drama. We picked Dracula because it's October. I mean, I went for, it was the time of the year. I thought, what a great idea to put on this production. But what we're doing, I mean, I know in some ways it's a very commercial thing to do, to run Dracula in October because of Halloween. What we are doing, though, to keep the integrity of the work, is that there's no campiness to this production. We're doing a straight Gothic thriller. Bram Stoker wrote a masterpiece novel, and over the years, through bad drive-in movies and bad TV series, Dracula's become sort of a camp figure.
I think you have to think gory and mystery, masterpiece theater,
absolutely.
that kind of thing.
Dracula is, what a figure. I mean, this man is wanted by every woman and admired by every man. He has mystical proportions. I mean, he's an incredible man. And feared, yes. And then Lucy, the heroine in it, has to be such a desirable, wonderful woman that Dracula has chosen her out of all the women that he's munched on for lunch as his queen. Right. I mean, he wants Lucy as his queen. We're working with a New York set designer, Sal Tagliarino, who's going to do a Gothic grand setting. We're doing a lot of special effects. I think it's going to be a really thrilling production. I anticipate a sellout, absolutely.
It's one of my favorite stories. Dracula is definitely something that's very dear to my heart, because I think that that whole era and time was the beginning of people understanding the darker nature of, instead of it being a negative force, but as a part of every human being's being. So, and I think that's one of the reasons why Anne Rice is so popular today.
Absolutely.
We're going to take a little break, and when I come back, I'm going to be with the second half of this team, his wife, his lovely wife, Lynn. Thank you. I'm Mary Michelle. This is Mary Michelle, and this is Taking Time. I'm back with Lynn Patton, who is the artistic director of the Yorktown Performing Arts Theater. So I wanted to ask you a little bit about your background and how you got involved in the theater or movies or whatever was your great love.
Okay. Well, I started out as a child performer, much like my husband. I started taking dance when I was 2½, but not for any great love of the theater or wanting to learn to dance. I was a very fat child. And
well, you're not fat now.
I know. Good thing. And so it started that way, just as a vehicle to gain some coordination and learn how to dance and walk. And after that, I started liking it so much that I began to try out for, local productions in our community, and I began directing little programs in elementary school, and just moved right on into the professional theater at a very young age. I've been an equity actress now for 25 years, so.
So you've done theater, but also have you done film and television?
I've done over 100 television commercials and voiceovers.
Wow.
And several films and soaps.
So, a serious professional.
Yes.
Now, you've also run other community theaters, is that right?
I did. I had a summer stock theater out in Ohio where we did 7-week stock, and that's 7 shows in 7 weeks.
Wow.
And that's very fast, putting up a show, unlike we have at least a 4-week rehearsal period in this theater, which is good for everyone. It gives me more time as the artistic director, but even the actors, I think, are a little more comfortable with 4 weeks compared to 1 week.
Were these musicals that you did in 1 week?
1 musical and 5 straight shows. 1 musical, 1 child's production or children's show, and then the rest were all straight dramatic productions.
I wanted you to tell me a little bit about the kiosk or the outside, what is it, the food during the performance? Not during, but in the intermission, your children?
Well, Mary Michelle, this is a family endeavor. When we took this theater over, we had no idea how involved every member of our family was going to be. So right now, I have 2 children, my son Todd, and he'll be 11 next week, and my daughter Erica is 15. We wanted to find a job that they could do that would benefit the theater, but it would also benefit them. And they decided that they wanted to run and operate the concession stand solely on their own. So they pay for all the goodies that they sell in the concession stand. They set everything up. They take inventory. When they run out of something, they tell us and send us to get it, my husband or myself. And we have the car. And they sell everything. My daughter was in the last show, but she didn't want to miss out on her job as concession manager, so she ran in full makeup and full costume out there during intermission, sold stuff, and ran back into the dressing room again before the show started for Act 2. So both Erica and Todd are very, very involved. They handle that concession stand on their own, not only for the shows that we produce, but whenever we bring something in from the outside, if they want the concession stand open, the children will come and they take care of that too.
That's great. Yeah. And what about the children programs that you have here? Can you describe some of those?
Yes, we've just completed our summer camp program, which were 2 2-week sessions. It was very successful. We didn't have an opportunity to do it last summer, but we tried it this summer, and it was extremely successful. The children put on a full-blown production of Free to Be You and Me. They made all the scenery. They made their own costumes, their own props. They memorized their lines. It was a musical. They were just terrific. We had great instructors.
That's great.
And we're going to continue it. We've already had acting classes last spring. We're going to start some more in the fall.
You also do some art painting classes, don't you, with the children? Have you done that?
We haven't yet.
It's something you'd like to do.
It's something that we'd like to do in the future, because we do want to encompass all the arts here. So that's something that we'd like to do down the road, along with our youth symphony and our teen repertory company that we want to start.
But you've already had a performance with the children, or somebody performing just music. Didn't you say something about more of a Caramore-like situation?
Over the holidays, last Christmas, we brought in 2 woodwind quintets. They were fabulous. They were Caramore quality. We publicized it. We didn't get the turnout that we would have liked to have had, and I'm hoping that we can do it again, and hopefully people will respond to it, because I think it just will take a little bit of time. It was wonderful. It was beautiful. We were all dressed up. They were all dressed up. And even though the audience was very small, the musicians still performed for 2 full hours and gave them a concert. It really was beautiful.
That's great.
Yeah.
I wanted to ask you about some of the things that I know that in as much as it is a community theater, there are people that work here that are volunteers. I wanted to ask you somewhat what kind of volunteers and what you need and what you would like more of. I think it's part of my process with what I'm doing with this show of Taking Time, is that I think it helps people to come and do something like this. It gives them quality time in the performing arts.
We can always use hands-on help here. If someone sews, if they want to take some costumes home with them, do some hemming, and while they're sitting watching television, it would be so greatly appreciated. Anybody who likes to build or work with hammer and saw and screwdrivers, We always have something that they can do. A chore like painting the stage. This week, the stage has to be painted for our next production, and there will be platforms that also have to be painted. If anybody wants to come and help, they should call the theater and come. I'll tell them when I'm here, they can come over, we'll take off our shoes, and we'll paint the stage. Any kind of help that people want to give, from ushering, we can always use ushers. I have an incredible box office manager. She is volunteer, and she's been with us since we first started the theater. So that's another area. If somebody is good at doing publicity, we can certainly use that. So anything that somebody's interested in doing, please call.
Okay.
No matter, even we'll take any amount of time that they want to give. Just
Okay.
an hour or two a week would be fine.
All right. Well, I hope everybody out there is listening and will take this to heart. What is the next production that's coming up, and what are the dates of it?
Opening next Saturday, that would be the 17th
Of August.
of August. We have Rodgers and Hammerstein's A Grand Night for Singing. It's a beautiful review featuring a professional cast, a professional orchestra, 27 of Rodgers and Hammerstein's most beloved songs. This is truly a musical where you can go out singing the songs.
Oh, that's great.
And if they order their tickets for Friday night, any seat is $3 off.
Wow.
So we have a special on both. Well, the Friday
that the
night
dress
would
rehearsal?
be the 23rd.
No,
No,
no.
it would be the second weekend.
The second weekend.
23rd.
Okay.
Friday the 23rd.
Okay. Are there a lot of people locally that in it, or is it sort of split, the people that are acting in it and also the musicians?
It's very split. We have some of our actors come from as far as the city and the Bronx. We have someone from Irvington. I believe one of our actors is from Connecticut. So
Goodness.
they really are spread around, but they're fabulous.
Oh, well, that's wonderful.
And there is no hearing problem with these actors.
Okay.
You can hear them if you stand in the parking lot.
Oh, that's great.
They're incredible.
How many performances?
We're only doing 5 performances.
Okay. And the next show after that will be Dracula.
Will be Dracula with a special Halloween performance.
So how many
And,
performances of that?
There will be 9 performances of Dracula, and that opens on October 19th. It's going to be the original scare the pants off of you version. So no camp, no silliness. This is a scary show. I would suggest that if you're bringing children to this show, you just check
Be
it out
aware
very
of
carefully.
that.
Yeah, be aware that it
Yeah.
is.
Although I must say some of the things kids watch scare me.
Well, I've had a lot of people call for tickets for Dracula and say, I have a child, but they really love scary stuff. Is this going to be real scary? And I said, yes. So they feel, oh, good, my child will love it. So we have Dracula, followed by a very special event for this theater, Nutcracker the Musical, in December. And I might add that all these shows, the auditions are open. So to equity and non-equity actors, and they're open. Just call the theater for an appointment time if you're interested in auditioning. Nutcracker the Musical is being sponsored in part by Hallmark Entertainment, and it is hopefully going to go to Broadway. It's already been optioned for television.
Wow.
It has a cast of 46.
That's amazing.
So we'll be auditioning a lot of people for that, I'm sure. There are children, there are adults.
Are there new lyrics and songs and all
the
of that?
music is totally original. Everything from rap and hip hop to country western, rhythm and blues. It's very different. It is not the ballet.
Yeah. And
It's not the
choreography, is there dance as well?
There's incredible choreography. So it is really a not to be missed. It's a great holiday event for families. I think it's going to be a real...
And how did you get Hallmark involved in this?
They were familiar with the work, and they were looking for a vehicle to launch it. And our theater just happened to be in the right place at the right time.
Oh,
and
that's so
Ken and I
exciting.
read the script and listened to the music, and we were very excited about it. And Hallmark wanted to know would we like to talk about it, and we did. And so we're doing this as a joint venture with them. And we're very, very excited about it.
Yeah. Well, I'm happy for you.
Thank you.
That's great.
Thank you.
I think it's truly wonderful that you and your husband have created a forum for professional and yet community theater in our area. And as I understand it, there are over 100 towns in the area that have access to this theater. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Really, that's wonderful. Well, I want to thank you both. I didn't thank Ken on camera, but I want you to tell him.
I'll tell him.
That I really I appreciate it very much that you were here with me today. I'm Mary Michelle, and this is Taking Time.